Hello everybody! Welcome back to Let's Play Megaman X4. In the last episode, we cleared X's storyline. Now it's time for Zero's. My personal favorite storyline-wise. Now, like X, I will be using the Ultimate Armor code. Zero's armor code is... when you're highlighting Zero, hold R1, press right 6 times, release R1, hold circle, and press start. That's how you will get his Ultimate Armor. So, let's get this party started. And I had to look off the line so I can find the code really quick. And cutscene time right after I press X. So, cutscene time.
Who are you? My masterpiece. But who are you? After him, he is my nemesis. Our rivalry is what gives me motivation in life. Now go. Destroy him. That's an order. But wait! Emergency, all maverick hunters on call should assemble immediately. The same thing again. All maverick hunters on call should assemble immediately.
And that was what confirmed that Zero was Wily's creation, because that was Dr. Wily's silhouette. In case I didn't mention it before, Zero was created to kill the original Mega Man, which we're not sure if he succeeded in doing. I'd like to believe that he at least fatally injured the original one and light upgraded the original one to X. And then put him to sleep for like a century until Dr. Kane found him, which I'll get to in X1 through 3. Anyway, this is the ultimate armor for Zero, Black Zero. Which as far as I can tell, besides being an obvious cosmetic change, only slightly increases maybe his... which either slightly increases his attack or defense, I can't really tell. Now, Zero is a melee fighter, which is made to be in contrast with X, of course. But this is actually not Zero's first playable appearance. He was first playable in Mega Man X3. But you couldn't fight entire stages with him, only certain sections, and even then you could only call him in once a stage. Now he has an entire different storyline, which is sadly non-canon. And yet some parts of it are canon, which I find somewhat odd. Oh, hi, traitorous Dragoon. He's totally not a traitor. Oh, what am I kidding? We already know he is. And in case I didn't mention, Sky Lagoon, which is what the first part of the first stage is a floating city in midair, and this, where we are right now, was another city underneath it. Sky Lagoon crashed and killed thousands of people. And I don't even think I mentioned the purpose of the Maverick Hunters yet. The Mavericks virus pretty much causes them to go rage and rampant and kill everything in sight. And yet they still think they're doing the right thing, which I never understood, which I just find to be a very clever excuse for just to make more games. Because this is a virus that can be caught by anyone. Including a certain other Reptiloid we'll be meeting later on, even though we'll find out why he went Maverick in this playthrough. And this is Iris. She first appeared in Mega Man Extreme 2 for the Game Boy Color, I think a year before this came out. Or was it a couple years later? I don't know. I know this game chronologically happens after Extreme 2. I don't really know the release date. You know what? I'm gonna look it up. And it's time for the first boss, who I swear to God is weak against the Z-Saber, which is the name of Zero's sword, by the way. Because as you'll see, it's doing a lot more damage than the X-Buster ever did, even on Charge Shot, I think. And he went down very quickly. And hi, Colonel. It turns out that these two are actually friends, at least at this point in time in the series. I don't understand why they are, but they are. Yeah, yep, Extreme 2 came out later, but it chronologically happens first.
Brave soldiers of Repliforce, we have all been wrongfully judged as mavericks by the humans. We cannot suffer this indignity and live in disgrace. We will build our own nation of Reploids. But remember, this is neither about insurrection nor rebellion against our human creators. This is about our liberty and security. We must battle for our own individual rights and our own survival. Together we will build our nation, a sanctuary for all Reploids, our own utopia. Let us forge onward towards a new golden era for the Repliforce.
I too share the general sentiment. Take heed, we have no other choice. Let us fight valiantly, with courage and pride, without fear, for we are the Repliforce, the most powerful army in history!
The General has finally taken action. And now, my Maverick Hunters, what will you do? I'll be watching closely from here on out.
Different storyline, still bad voice acting. Good to know. Anyway, now it turns out Iris is our replacement for Double in Zero's playthrough. But bringing up that cutscene, how we already know that Zero's the villain, I do wish this game kind of took the Resident Evil 2 outlook that came out a few years later, where it was just two discs for each storyline, and the cutscenes were changed depending on which character you played first and second. That would have been pretty cool, at least. Yeah, Resident Evil 2, that's a game I'm going to have to play for the channel someday. Soon. Anyway, in terms of the boss order, I am going in the exact same order, even though that caused me not to be able to get some items on the first run, surprisingly. But I'm getting as many as I can through the first play through the stage, because I'm 100%ing Magma in this one playthrough of his stage. Also, I will say with a Zero, I'm a heck of a lot more reckless than with X. Not sure what it is about it, Zero, that makes me more reckless. I think it's just whether it's because he has a sword or that he's a melee fighter. Because I like to get up close and personal when I'm a melee fighter. And for some reason, it always ends up getting me killed. Because let's just say this: this one part, I die more times than I did in the first 3 or so of the X playthrough, or at least the first 2 parts, because I died twice. I think Zero might be a little faster too when it comes to running speed, or at least with dashing. But I'm not sure. This might just be because the flowing hair makes everything look so much faster. Now look, to see how much damage those did, that is ridiculous. And death number 1. Jump cut. But with Zero's basic combo, that third slash is actually really powerful because its frames count for multiple hits. If the bosses didn't have extended invulnerability periods, that would be a lot. That would be a destruction. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! That was close. And anyway, one thing I didn't mention in the X playthrough is that all of them, except for the Maverick should follow Zero, the bosses should follow Sigma and Sigma himself. All these guys we are fighting are Repliforce soldiers. They are innocent, as we found out in Nexus playthrough. We are killing thousands of innocent people, and yet the world doesn't even notice. Well, they do, but they judge as Mavericks by them, even though they really aren't, which is a bit of a dark turn I've realized recently. Unlike what happens in X5, which I'll get to when I get to that, where they actually have certain things that do go Maverick, but I'll get to that when I get to it. Anyway, I'm trying to get the hard tank, as you can see, because I don't have the Nova Strike. I can't really get up there as easily. But you're supposed to wait until you get an ability from a later boss, but I know how to do this well enough. You know, it's taking me quite a few tries. Come on, Kyle, you can do it. Come on. And I think I'm actually about to get it. There we go. And hard tank number 1 of 8. This stage is now 100%. We never have to come back here. And one thing I did forget to mention in Nexus playthrough is that after you get, I think it's the Twin Slasher, you're supposed to come back here and get one of the body pieces, one of the original armor pieces that I don't really know which one it is, because I haven't done the normal Force armor, normal armor in quite some time. But anyway, that was death number 2, and now we have our right armor yet again. And one thing I realized in between playthroughs is that the jump slash that this thing has destroys everything in its path. Because it's kind of like Zero's third slash, it counts for multiple hits. And now it's time for Magma Dragoon. Then again, I think that's kind of obvious now, isn't it? And one thing I didn't mention, just in case, because of spoilers in Nexus playthrough, is that the sigil beneath some of the boss's life bars, which, as you can see, is below Magma Dragoons, is Sigma's sigil. Because if you look at it, the yellow part is actually a Greek letter Sigma. As for what the rest of it is, that looks like a wolf, I'll get into that when I get into Megaman X1, if I ever do that, which I will fairly soon, I'd say. Also, I think for some reason he didn't attack me as much in this playthrough, so I was able to get a lot more health off him than I was maxing the right armor. But anyway, that was an easy first boss. Then again, this entire game is pretty easy, so I really shouldn't complain. And the same reason that he wanted to fight, that he joined Sigma, was the same reason he wanted to do in X's storyline. He wanted to fight Zero, see if he can beat him. You know, Zero's a lot more famous apparently because he's an S-class hunter, which is the highest Maverick hunter class, whereas X is only B-class. Anyway, we learned Ryo Engine, or Ryo Engine, I don't know how to pronounce it. Pretty much up in either triangle or square will send you flying up in the air in a Shoryuken fashion. Very useful, actually. They bring it back in a lot of the Mega Man Zero games. I should do this at some point. Anyway, I'm going to have to end this off here. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Next time on Mega Man X4, we'll fight Frost Walrus. I'll see you guys then. See ya!